I wanted to hop on real quick because the other day I was talking about how I was going through a low, like a really deep depression, I would say. And I've talked about being on a generic medication, and I feel like that has something to do with that. And also going through menopause and then stuff that's going on in life that's stressful between family and work. So all of those things combined have just kind of put me in this place, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost, I don't even know if it's depressed. I think I was in a weird place and I'm sort of in this weird place where it's more like I'm numb. Like I don't feel much of anything. I don't feel excited about things. I don't feel hopeful. I just feel like I'm kind of trapped in this. Well, for one, this body that giving me a lot of hot flashes, and I can't sleep, and I want to crawl out of it half of the time. And then just I'm in a job that's going nowhere fast, and then I want to move, and in order to do that, I need to find a remote job, and then feeling like I don't have the credentials, and just all of the things that you think about yourself that you're stuck, right? And the only way to get unstuck, of course, is to move forward. And I get that. But sometimes when you're in this place where you don't feel things, you don't really feel inclined to do any movement. You want to just be still. And that's okay too. And so, a couple of things that I've done that I found were helpful and I wanted to share were one, pamper yourself a little bit. And I don't mean spend money. I mean, I just have like masks that I do at home, and then I had like the foot masks that you could do, and I painted my nails and just put some makeup on, just feel a little better. I'm gonna go out to dinner. Just I don't know. Be kind to yourself. And I was giving up. I was surrendering to God or higher power. And I've said in my mind as I'm going for walks or when I'm laying in bed, I'll be like, can you please just guide me? Just guide me. I give up trying to make up all the decisions. Just I need you to guide me in the right direction. And I woke up this morning and it's just interesting. I don't know. I've talked about this in the past, but we have these wild rabbit that would come out once in a great while. I mean, rarely, and I think maybe twice last year, but they seem to come, in my opinion, odd times, like my dad's birthday last year. So I kind of perceive these rabbits as a sign, if that makes any sense. And when I got up this morning, the rabbit was outside and I felt a little spark of happiness. Like I haven't really felt happy in quite some time. And it just gave me a little spark of hope. And then we had a ton of birds, and I love the birds. And of course, spring's coming, and that makes sense that there's birds. But I don't know. It just gave me this sense of peace and that things are going to be okay. I guess you got to look for what you can. And when I lose hope, to me, that's like the worst. For me, I always need to have a semblance of hope. And I feel like I kind of lost that. So this helped give me a little bit of hope. And I'm trying not to talk about the subject that started me vlogging every day. So I went through a difficult time and I started vlogging about it a couple years ago. And it has to do with somebody else. So I didn't want to share their story. So I'm trying to refocus and share my story because I feel like I can post it if I leave another person's story out of it. So my story is struggling for many years with the medical system. And so the other day I made it clear I was giving up. I'm not going to pester the medical staff anymore. Like, I'm just gonna wipe my hands of it. And when I did that, it is funny because I heard from somebody important and they seem to be doing pretty well. So somebody that I worry about a lot called me and seemed to be doing pretty well, and that kind of was another like, oh, this doesn't usually happen. So, geez, maybe surrendering to God or the universe or to just surrendering. Maybe that is going to be helpful. So I just kind of want to track that journey and share that with anyone else who might be feeling the same way. So, for anyone who's feeling stuck, who's feeling just, or who's not feeling anything, who's going through a very stressful time, that something that you can't control. So, I think that's the biggest thing is taking something that you really can't control and letting it go when that's really difficult. Because if you want to save somebody else and you think that there's one way to save them, and if they don't want rescuing, there's not a whole lot you can do. And I can tell you this out of experience because for many, many years I've tried. And the more I try, the more pushback I get. And then the deeper I get into it, it pulls me into this web of negativity. And that's why I said, just let it go. And so I would say do the same. Thank you for listening. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I will be in touch. Another thing that helps when you are feeling low is to get outside. So for me, certainly I walk around the backyard and I mean, the trees aren't looking so great right now, but it's just nice to get some fresh air. And I haven't done a lot of that either. So I just kind of force myself to come out for a little bit and to sit in the quiet as it can be with the traffic around here. But like there's a blue jay up there. So yeah, it's just kind of peaceful to be outside. And it is definitely another good way to decompress and to focus on yourself for a change. And I think that's really important. So I guess I just kind of wanted to share that. I thought kind of went with the theme of self care. So thanks for listening.